Dr. Mohan Sapru, well, first of all, your thoughts on what has already happened and is going to happen over the course of this 3-day visit.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me here for this panel. I think I was listening to this conversation with a very eminent panelist here. I agree with a lot of that. I have slightly different view on some of those points. But just to answer your question a little more directly, I think it's becoming more and more clear now that the architecture of PM Modi's visit to the states, the state visit, is fundamentally going to be both transactional as well as transformative. And transactional part, obviously, we have talked a great deal about expectation for high-level defense equipment, transfer of technology or cooperation of manufacturing, and other science and technology-related, emerging technology-related agreements on that. So that's one aspect of that. But the other one is the transformative, is because I have a feeling that given that Biden has taken this initiative of inviting Prime Minister Modi for a very prestigious US state visit, it signals that he is ready to really go for a kind of much broader geopolitical and geoeconomic.
No, but that would logic would state that, but it's taken till the end of the presidency. So logic would state that India is a natural friend. Nobody's looking for alliances here, but we are a natural friend. We are a natural partner. So at the end of the Biden administration, at least the first term, we don't know what happens next year. What can be achieved?
I think there is a need for everybody, and politics is always multidimensional. I know I have a slightly different opinion than one of the panelists mentioned. I personally feel that even Biden has something to get from this, politically speaking.
What is that? Does he get the same kind of rubbing shoulders with Modi as a Donald Trump wanted? Does he want the job offers on the GE deal or the other defense deal? What does he get out of it?
I think not necessarily rubbing the shoulders that much. I would say Biden needs a breakthrough in foreign policy. If he can come up with a broad alliance with India on different fronts, including geopolitical, geoeconomic strategies and alliances, that would be something good for him too. Because foreign policy kind of success is also part of the whole re-election process. That's not to say that's the only motivation for that. Obviously, the motivations are different in politics.
Okay.
But I think we all know that at the end of the day, both for India and the US, the foreign policy is dictated by the actual national interest.
Okay, which is how it should be. But okay, when it comes to specifically, sir, the situation in Pakistan, where an economic crisis is happening, literally multiple civil wars are taking place. Is it an understanding that the war on terror isn't open and over, and Pakistan still remains a threat, which the Americans haven't sort of understood for so many decades?
Yeah, I think I don't even know who gave the signal that the war on terror is over. I know press may not be talking about it, but I think the war on terrorism is still alive. And I think it would be a strategic mistake for US or any other government to somehow think that they have wiped out terrorism. Absolutely not. If the history of Afghanistan is any proof, we know that these are ideologically very, very motivated individuals and lobbies and alliances, which keep on creeping their head again and again. So I think I wouldn't say war on terror is over.
All right, because but we've been focused on Ukraine, but of course it's not over. We know it's not over, but the world focus has been elsewhere. All right, what happens, sir, if there is a state of collapse in Pakistan, which could happen? It's no longer beyond the realm of imagination.
I think it can have a lot of severe consequences. I think even for India, there's going to be certain consequences, I would say undesirable ones, because to have an economic collapse of Pakistan with all the destabilization happening for a nuclear power, it's not going to be obviously advantageous to us. Although many people may think about that, okay, this is some kind of conquering the enemy, but that's not the case. So I think we need a stable, economically stable Pakistan for the matter. But there's not much, I think, within the Indian realm they can do.
Should all possible measures be taken now at some stage by India to reintegrate POK?
Well, I think that's a question why I know it seems to be long-term strategy for in certain circles, but I'm not necessarily sure whether this is the right time to go for that initiative at this stage, given all the national and international repercussions of that. And of course, there's going to be a strong US as well as broader international response to that. But having said that, I'm not necessarily sure that this would be the right time for India to go in there,
Okay,
because there
all
are
right.
a lot more things
There
to be done.
seems to be a very active lobby that is trying to convince the world that India itself is about to collapse, that there is about to be, Muslim genocide or communal riots at an unprecedented scale. They've been saying it for years, it never happens. I live here, I know it's never going to happen. There's a secondary lobby that tells us that our democracy is horrible, there is no press freedom, there is no religious freedom, we are worse than Afghanistan and all when it comes to these parameters. How is there an audience for such hue in America still?
Well, as far as the sham and bogie is concerned, yes, that's true. There is a certain degree of audience for that. As we always say, there's a 90-10 rule in this case. You may have 90%, 80% people who really know the overall situation. There'll be always 10, 15% people in that fringe element, those who are lobbyist-driven, who really keep on harping on this theme and creating this bogey. And certain section of the press, both national and international, is really also lending credence to that. But I would say in today's wave of India emerging as the fifth largest economy, a nuclear power, world's largest population in this country, and emergence of a new India, I think to some extent it's going to be a background noise, which will keep on being there. Of course, it'll be an irritating thing to deal with that, but I'm not sure it's going to be necessarily going to.
Okay, Dr. Sapru, what is the perception of Narendra Modi as a global leader and Team India? You have Ambassador Jaishankar, Ajit Doval, you have a whole host of people who are representing you. You saw the UN, permanent representative there. What is the perception now of Team India?
Absolutely. I think if you talk about the majority view, they have a very favorable opinion about Modi and Jaishankar overall, in terms of they do think about him as a progressive leader, a democratic elected leader. But there's always the anti-India lobby and certain section of even lawmakers from both of them who are going to be talking a little bit, talking about some anti-Modi stuff. But that's just part of the lobbyist-driven narrative-building world today.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.